Hi, I'm Doggo, and no, this isn't a JoJo reference. We all know JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the wacky costumes, the weird characters, the crazy poses. Released back in 1986, JoJo was created by Hidehiko Araki, who was acclaimed for his previous work, Bao. Saying JoJo is one of the most influential manga is sort of an understatement. I mean, the amount of things that have been inspired by JoJo is honestly insane and just kinda cool to look back at. The character we're talking about is the first main JoJo, Jonathan Joestar, who's pretty much the goody two-shoes of all the JoJos, and I think he's pretty boring. Not that that's a bad thing, honestly, he's a great character and things like his dynamic with Dio are great, but he's definitely not the best Joestar compared to all the other assholes. But he's definitely not the worst, believe me. Jonathan uses the power of Hamon, which is used to kill the vampires in the story and is sort of like a sun ability. And that's all I'm gonna explain because JoJo is long and complicated, just watch the show. But what about the figures producers? Medicos Entertainment has been making JoJo figures for the past 15 years, Jesus. These figures consist of great sculpting, kinda, and great paint, sorta, and over the years have improved their work. But nonetheless, they made every character, at least every Joestar, up to JoJolian. And the releases are actually weird. The line started in 2008 with Stardust Crusaders, and Jonathan was released in 2017, a whole 8 years later. But honestly, it was a blessing in disguise, as it means Jonathan's quality articulation was way better than all the other ones. And a fun fact about Jonathan, Good Smile was supposed to originally make a Jonathan figure, and let's just say we're grateful Medicos got the license. Anyways, the actual figure. The painting and sculpting on this figure is amazing. Like I said, the Super Action statue line, that's the name of this line, consists of high quality sculpt and paintwork, and this figure definitely lives up to that. Yeah, the sculpting is weird, the proportions are wonky with the huge muscles, the small hands and feet, but that's just JoJo's unique design and it captures Araki's art beautifully. Now something I want to mention is none of these JoJo figures sculpt-wise are actually based on the anime. Well, I mean one, but that one doesn't really count. Every figure is modeled off of Araki's original art, which I prefer because the anime design's kinda dog shit a lot of the time. However, it's not exactly perfect. Like Jonathan's head sculpt definitely looks like Jonathan, but it doesn't really follow the original part's art, but I'm fine with that. Those shits had long noses. I also don't think the sculpt is perfect. I don't like how small the shoulders are, and the shoulder pads definitely don't add to that. And there's pins. Great. Did I mention the paint is amazing? The whole figure is covered in paint with shading all around the muscles and wrinkles. Medicos is known for having a great amount of paints, and John is definitely not an exception to that. Another thing, all these figures' colors are chosen by Araki himself. As for a source of this color, the only thing I could find is his color from All-Star Battle, but that was more of a purple, so I don't know. But I do like the blue. It seems pretty boring that nothing is breaking it up, but taking into account that all the Joestars have blue versions, I quite like it. Now, even back then, Medicos wasn't known for having exceptional quality. His head just kind of pops off if you breathe on it wrong. There's some loose joints, and for some reason the thighs aren't level, but I think that's more of a sculpting issue than QC. But the figure won't fall apart in my hands, so that's good. For accessories, he has quite a decent amount of stuff. You get a pair of fists, flat chopping hands, wide open hands, and would you look at that? And gripping hands, one tighter for the sword and to hold the sheath. This is a sword of pluck and luck, and it's done pretty nice. This is when Bruford gives Jonathan the sword to kill Dio, if you haven't seen the show. For the head, you get the base head and a teeth gritting head. Both are sculpted and painted great, but I think a sort of smiling head should have been included. I don't know, something to show Jonathan's more compassionate side. And finally, you get a backpack which can be unplugged and plugged back in to go on the back. Great shading on this is too. And finally, just like every other Medicos figure, you get a stand. No, not that kind, shut up. There's a hinge joint, and a swivel at the base. Also, a cool thing is that these bases can split apart, so you can add another hole for both stands to be on one. That's pretty cool. Now there is one more accessory. It's this extender so the stand can go through the backpack. It's in the fucking shadow realm at this point, but you could just plug the stand into the back or the back of the backpack. And overall, the accessories are pretty good. Really, all I would have wanted was effects to show off his Hamon power, or maybe some of the moves he does in the manga, like the zoom punch or even the sunlight overdrive. But I'm happy with what's here, which I think I could say about the articulation. Kinda. You get a ball hinge at the neck and a ball joint at the base. He can look up this far, down all the way, arms can go all the way around, hinge out. The butterflies are on a ratchet, so they go forward this far and back. Bicep swivel, double bend at the elbow, and because of the joint, you could get another swivel at the elbow. Swivel hinge at the hand. These ball joints are really small. Please don't break them. I have no idea why they're this tiny. Ball joint at the top and bottom of the chest, which can crush this far, good arc, and can swivel all the way around. There's a ball joint at the leg, thigh swivel. The legs can go up this far, but are hindered because of his thick thighs. Back's pretty good. Okay spread. Decent double hinge at the knee, and a swivel hinge at the foot, which goes down this far, up, and a pretty good toe joint considering these JoJo figures. And it's fine. Medicos isn't known for articulation. I mean, they're called super action statues, but it's pretty nice here. The buff sculpt definitely hinders it, but it still works pretty well. For comparison, here he is with the Mafex Wolverine and Spider-Man. the Mafex Batman and Nightwing, the Super Action statue Kenshiro and Rao from Fist of the North Star, the Wonder Festival Joseph and Jotaro. Like, Jonathan and Joseph are fine, but like, look at Jotaro. Medicos, please give us 2.0 Stardust Crusaders. Josuke and Kira. And finally, here he is with Dio. I don't have the part 1 version, so this is the part 3 version, and again, scaling is completely fucked. And I almost forgot to mention, here he is with Araki's original work, Bao. In the end, this is a great figure. Even if Jonathan isn't your favorite JoJo, this is a great representation of him, and far better than a lot of other SAS. I highly recommend it if you like Jonathan or you just want one, because you won't be disappointed. And he's pretty available. I believe he's at every major retailer like HLJ and AmiAmi. But do be warned, these are the reissues, and sometimes the reissues have issues compared to the older ones, so do be cautious, but I think Jonathan was fine for the most part. There also is a Wonder Festival exclusive version that is way too much money that I do want. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, leave a comment, let me know if you have this figure and what your thoughts are on it. Happy Turkey Week for the people who have it. I'm trying to be more active on YouTube and post more stuff, but if you want to see more from me for some reason, I'm more active on my Instagram and my TikTok, where I post a lot more about figure stuff. I post nothing but high quality on my Instagram. And as for what my next review will be, I don't know. How about you? Okay, bye.